ABC Sports presents live in its 30th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, from Las Vegas, it's the $110,000 Showboat Senior Invitational. In our first game, Bobby Meadows of Arlington, Texas, is making his second career championship round appearance. His opponent is making his first appearance ever in the televised finals from Sunrise, Florida, Tommy Evans. That winner will face two-time PBA Senior Tour champion and hometown favorite John Handegard. In the semifinal game, we'll see the 1989 Senior PBA Player of the Year from Huntsville, Alabama, Jimmy Sirk. And our tournament leader is the reigning PBA Senior Player of the Year, who tries for his second title today, John Hricsina. That's our outstanding field of senior finalists for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. The Professional Bowlers Tour has returned to the desert city of Las Vegas, a city where all kinds of games are played. Well, this week, fans here have enjoyed the PBA Seniors in the Showboat Invitational. We've traveled 15 miles west of the Strip to a wonderful area called Calico Basin, a small part of the vast Red Rock Canyon. Look at those colorful cliffs. They're ageless wonders rising some 2,000 feet above the valley floor. They were formed by seismic activity and lots of erosion from wind and rain. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. What wonderment as I stand in awe of what nature has provided for Americans. And the Bureau of Land Management, a part of the Department of Interior, wants all of us to see more of America by getting off the highways and coming to the back roads as we have done here in Nevada. Back roads, country, byways. That's what they call it, and we hope you'll enjoy it because this has been home for ages to all kinds of animals, bighorn sheep, coyotes, yes, and even cougars, and 30 species of reptiles and amphibians. That's why we're staying up high, not to get in trouble 2,000 feet below. A beautiful, ageless wonder. That it is. Speaking of ageless, our senior bowlers are just that, and oh, what talent they have. My colleague will be a senior soon. In other words, he'll be 50 one of these days. Let's go to him now at the Showboat Lanes, Nelson Burton Jr.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. It'll be a few moons before I'm ready for the Seniors Tour, but I relish that moment. And it's wonderful up in the mountains west of the St. Las Vegas area. Mount Charleston's beautiful area, the wild horses, the ski areas. But down in the valley, we're here for the 32nd year at the Showboat Lanes. This is one of 12 senior events in 1991, and the second time that ABC Television has been here in 91. We were here in January with the regular tour, and of course the Seniors Championship today. Now, it's been a grueling week. 355 players went to the starting gate. They bowled 48 games over 5 days of match play, and now we're down to the top 5 players. They've had a long stretch, they're ready to go, and they want to show their wares. They want to show that they can really bowl under tough pressure conditions. So let's look at how the players are going to play the championship pair. First place, the conditions a little bit different from the seniors. The oil is down the lane, kind of in a center position where there's heavy oil in the center. It's not brushed to the side like it is on the regulars tour. Now the back of the lane is very dry, so the players get a pretty good shot to the pocket. And here's the angle the players will be playing. They'll be coming in between the first and second arrows into the 1-3 pocket. Chris Schenkel, all right-handed players, we look for real good scores.
Yes, we do. And they'll be gunning for the $13,000 first prize out of a total of $110,000. 7 for runner-up, 5, 4,500, and 4 for fifth. Number 1, always on Saturday afternoon, is ABC's Wide World of Sports double horse racing excitement today, live from Belmont Park in New York. First, the most challenging and final jewel in the Chrysler Triple Crown Challenge as you look at Hansel, who won the Preakness Strike, the gold, winning the Derby, of course. And the starting gate as they go on their journey last year. Also today, the American Championship Racing Series continues with the Nassau County Handicap. That's live. So is this shot. Bobby Meadows, Texan. Tommy Evans, a Floridian. Game 1, first shot by 52-year-old Bobby Meadows of Arlington, Texas. Longtime friend, Bo. We enjoyed him over the years.
You're right, Chris. He goes way back in bowling, and actually he was in the National Bowling League as a forerunner to the Pro Bowlers Tour in 1961. A little apprehensive with his first shot, a little bit slow, leaving the 5-pin crossing over. The championship here, as we showed the oil profile, a little bit heavier in the center and no cross wipe. It gives the player a pretty good shot to the pocket if he sends the ball wide. If he pulls it like Bobby did on that shot, he'll have trouble.
Okay. So now Bobby can let the butterflies fly out of his midsection and get ready for his next frame. But right now, Tommy Evans, the one that is appearing on television for the first time, 50 years old. Well, that'll help ease any anxiety.
That's for sure. A great break as you look at the ideal style of Tommy Evans. 5-step delivery, has a just shoulder-high swing, has 2 different shoes for accommodate the approaches, and a great finish at the line. One thing that Tommy has to watch for is pulling up at the line. He usually stays down, and when he gets under a little bit of pressure, he'll want to raise up in that pivot step. If he stays down, he could be very tough.
I'm sure the legend Don Carter is watching down in Florida because he has a long-time association with Tommy. Pro shop at Sawgrass All-Star, Don Carter Lanes.
And you see the replay of a light hit by Tommy. Almost carries out the 7. The 5 gets shortcut by the head pin coming across. Pretty easy spare for Tommy. And the early going would give him 20 in the first, clean through 2.
Tommy Evans, Sunrise, Florida. Not too far from Fort Lauderdale. Here is Jeannie Halsey's son-in-law. Jeannie Halsey is a Forum, Quaker State Open in Texas. Bobby married Jeannie's daughter, Debbie.
No problem there for Bobby. Keeping it wide in the right-hand lane is a little bit tighter than the left, so we'll see the players coming in light on the right-hand lane and finishing on the left. Now you look at Meadows, a really nice style, has been a great bowler for 3 decades, has a little figure 8 in his release. You saw his thumb dropping down, and not quite the knee bend I saw from Bobby Meadows 30 years ago, but still a tough player.
And there are figure 8s in other sports, for instance, with the seniors on ABC today, as you saw, and again tomorrow. Miller Barber, Gabe Brewer, all with that loop in their swing. And I remember Billy Whaley had a little of it, didn't he, Bo?
Yes, he did. Billy Whaley, the forerunner to Bo Burton. Here is the color analyst at ABC and one of the great bowlers of all time. And the reason they had that figure 8, Chris, is they bowled on lacquer lane conditions where you didn't have to hook the ball much and you kept it under control.
Nice strike by Bobby Meadows. And Bo, what about one of my instructors in the early years, Buddy Bomar?
Buddy Bomar, with the late great Buddy Bomar, a Hall of Famer, had actually gone down to Texas and wanted Bobby Meadows to move to Chicago to bowl on one of Bomar's great teams. Meadows opted not to and has since been in business and bowled the tour part-time. Now, Tommy Evans, who's made some great changes in the last 10 years in his game, and it's paying off now.
Crossing over and leaving the 310 on the right lane. We're at the Showboat lanes in Las Vegas.
Tommy Evans, always a good spare maker, should give this a good go. He needs to get the ball in next to the 3, let it deflect into the 10. An ideal shot would be right here. Let the ball do the work. Tommy Evans makes this. He'll only trail by 1.
Oh, beautiful. We asked Tom earlier what his feelings are going into this first championship round game.
Oh, not being in this position before, I don't have any feelings one way or the other. I'm going to be nervous, just like everybody else. It's just a matter of how well I concentrate and how I cope with the nervousness.
Doing well. Doing well.
2 points to overcome nervousness for anybody. Keep your eyes on your target and extend that follow-through extra long.
All right, we're in our first game in a very close match. Bobby Meadows leading by 1 pin. Beautiful area just outside of Las Vegas. White Rock Spring, one of the many wonders of nature. The National Guard project, the automobile removal project, to get some of the unsightly sores for eyes away from this national park.
So I'm standing in the checkout line, and this really attractive woman sees I have Kellogg's Bran Flakes. And she says,
Buying that for your father?
come on, they taste terrific. That's why I eat Kellogg's Bran Flakes. It's a nutty, toasted wheat taste. And they're Kellogg's. So I turned to this woman. I looked her straight in the eye, and I said, yeah, they're for Dad. K-E-double-L-O double good. Kellogg's Bran Flakes. Toasted taste to you.
There's no better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. 'Cause the AM surely is my favorite sign.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for: to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Here's news. If your athlete's foot won't go away, you could have more than athlete's foot. You could have a secondary yeast infection. That's right, yeast.
Only Mycotin cures both athlete's foot and secondary yeast infections with Myconazole. Step up to the mic. Mycotin.
With the chalky taste of some antacids, it can seem that the cure is worse than the pain. Introducing new Mylanta Cherry and Cool Mint Creams, the best tasting antacids. Blended creamier for a non-chalky taste.
No wonder my doctor said Mylanta.
You get a great idea of the vastness of the Showboat lanes. This is the 70-lane portion, total of 106 here. And we're back here again, the second time we have covered the PBA Seniors Invitational. 52-year-old Bobby Meadows leads by 1. He has a strike-up, can take an 11-point lead. He was down begging for that one, Bill.
Chris, 59 and 60, you and I have covered as a championship pair for many, many years, and we know the championship pair, the right-hand lane always hangs a little bit. He's left the 2-8, and what he needs to do is get the ball in this area, let either the pin or the ball carry out the 8. Tough double wood spare, and as I'm saying, we know that the right-hand lane holds back or doesn't hook. A lot of these seniors don't know that.
There it is, chopping it off. We asked Bobby earlier what his plans for the future, both on and off the senior tour, happen to be.
Well, I'm trying to start my own business in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a bowling center. On the lanes, I just take it as it comes. If I have time to take away from trying to set up a business for my family and my future of my family, then I'll go out and bowl a stop or two. I've signed up to bowl 5 stops, but it just depends on the business in Albuquerque as to whether or not I'll get to participate or not.
Well, we hope he gets it to work.
Needs to get that ball working right now. Bobby, a little bit apprehensive, trails by 11 pins, just broke up the 4-9 split. And as soon as they loosen up, they get a little more ball speed, they're going to throw some strikes.
Just does get it. Apparently stuck a little bit at the line, but marked with a spare.
Speaking of sticking, Tommy Evans probably has the best shoe combination out there. He carries about 4 or 5 pairs of shoes with him, and on his left foot you can see the dark shoe, on his right foot, and there's a freeze frame of what he has done. On his right foot he has more rubber so he can push off real well. On the left foot, a good slide foot. So let's see how well it's working. It's line real good that time.
Tommy Evans, who came out on the seniors tour this spring after turning 50, 5'9", 170 pounds, and seemingly in good shape.
Tommy, an ideal style. Used to be a full roller player, so he's almost straight up the line. Look how he does it now. He'll take a position just about the center of the lane here. He'll slide about the center, almost an ideal style, with a ball trajectory just inside the first arrow, heading down to the 1-3 pocket. He leads by 21, can make it 31.
And gets them all. good mixing action with that ball. And he's sort of disbelief at this point.
Well, he got a great break, but Meadows gave him the opening. We know that match play competition is what it's all about here in the championship round. Meadows misses the 2-8 double wood spare. Immediately, Evans, seeing the opening, jumps to a 31-pin lead. It behooves Meadows to get some strikes.
Oh, baby.
So that strike for Meadows coming in the 6th frame. Bobby making the number 5 position with a 210 to 208 win over Gene Stuss.
Stuss needed a strike to make the top 5, left a 7-pin. Meadows now has a chance to win the tournament, but he has to get some strikes. So let's look at the position of Bobby Meadows. He plays a little bit more hook than Evans. He's going to start here. He's going to be about right here on the stride area and start the ball at the foul line, still about the same trajectory as Evans.
Okay, all right. We're in Las Vegas. We talked about wild horses, and look at these burros. Some of them up for adoption. Buy a limo, that's a cultural shock.
Most guys would tell you they don't really think about their hair. Right. Personally, I think most guys want their hair to look good as long as it's not a hassle. That's where Pert Plus comes in. It's a unique shampoo and conditioner in one. So, you get clean, more manageable hair than with plain shampoo, but without any extra work. That's Pert Plus. Hey, I admit it, I think about my hair. But it's not all I think about.
Wash and go with Pert Plus. Also in dandruff control.
For those of you looking for the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, in a light beer, we proudly present Cold Filtered Miller Genuine Draft Light. Also available in 12-ounce sizes.
The country's top 3-year-olds go after a $1 million bonus in the final jewel of the Triple Crown. It's the Belmont Stakes live next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
There's a reaction from Bobby Meadows of Arlington, Texas, who in the 8th frame came up with his 3rd strike in a row. However, while we're away and we're running behind our allotted time, on the 7th and 8th frames, Tommy Evans, Bobby's opponent, struck, giving him a 5-bagger and a 31-pin lead, but with a strike here in the 9th, Bobby Meadows can cut it to 21. Here's Bo.
Chris, John Handegard, you'll bowl the winner of this match. What do you think of the lane condition out there?
Well, I think the lane conditions are great this week. It's just a matter of staying loose and just being firm, but just going through every ball as easy as you can.
Well, John Handegard will be in the next match, and I think these players have got it together, Chris.
Yes, there's plenty of heart in these over 50 senior bowlers, members of the Professional Bowlers Association. For Bobby Meadows, that's a 4-bagger. For this man, 50-year-old Tommy Evans, it's 5 in a row now, shooting in the 9th. Leading by 21, can regain a 31-pin lead with a strike here. Leaves the 6-10 on the right lane.
Tommy Evans could have really put the hurts to Bobby Meadows with a strike there, but right now he's left it wide open. As you see, is an overhead shot. Tommy Evans with a good post arm swing, but he sees that arm come in front of his face. He helps the ball up to the pocket, breaks up the 6-7-10 split, has the 6-10 remainder up there, but now leads by less than 20 pins. Even if he converts, it's going down to the 10th frame.
All right, tomorrow ABC Sports has a triple header of great action. First at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Pacific, it's the World League finale as Barcelona takes on London in the World Bowl. Then defending champ Jack Nicklaus and the Senior Tour's best meet for the final round as Mazda presents the Senior Players Championship. Then, later join the Golden Bear for a special United States Open preview featuring Jack himself. It's all tomorrow, ABC Sports.
Tommy Evans, 10th frame, going at a 2:36 pace. Meadows, a possible 2:37.
First time on national television, senior Tommy Evans.
For Tommy Evans, he can shut out his opponent with a strike and a 2-pin count. 2 pins almost automatic. It's the strike that he really needs right here. I think he's asked for a re-rack. Each player's allowed 2 re-racks. Kind of a good idea to get your thoughts together in the most critical shot that Tommy has ever thrown in his career. A chance to win his first game on national television.
Member of the Florida Bowling Hall of Fame. His opponent, member of the Dallas and the Texas Halls of Fame. Leaves the bucket.
Could have shut out Meadows, not to be. Tommy Evans with a conversion, 236. Bobby Meadows will determine his own destiny. He's going to at least need 2 strikes and maybe 3 to win. Depends on if Evans makes the spare or not. Possibility of a tie.
Big 236 for Tommy Evans. He averaged 2 times crossing this championship pair during the week, 225, so he was tough today. Now, this man has to be tough.
Meadows needs strikes on the next 2 balls to have any chance. All 3 to win, 2 and 9 to tie.
Whoa! Whoa!
There's one.
Chris, I remember Bobby Meadows in the late 50s, early 60s. He used to come through St. Louis when I was still in school, and he would always be willing to bowl anybody, anytime, for any amount of money. He's a great match game player, and he's tough.
All right. He is wired for sound. Let's see if he says anything. No, slid by. So it is Tommy Evans. Against a gallant try by Bobby Meadows, Evans is the winner with a 236. ABC Sports presentation, Professional Bowlers will return after this message and a word from your ABC station.
Live coverage of golf's national championship begins next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Fat-free cereal. Truly, I can't imagine just how yummy that will be. Come on, can't we just have a little fun at breakfast? You know, have something with a little flavor to it? Yeah, something like this. Delicious. I like these.
Kellogg's cornflakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free? Kellogg's cornflakes? Well, don't tell everyone. You'll just ruin it for them.
A good reason to taste them again for the first time.
Kelly LeBrock reveals the essence of man.
Hard to define, easy to know. When he holds you close, it's in the way he smells. Root, the essence of man. Come on, put it on.
I smoke, but the only open table in this restaurant is in the no smoking section. My solution? The cool, clean taste of Wrigley Spearmint Gum. After dinner, it fills the bill. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Daddy's little girl's gone bad.
How could Jamie be in a gang without us knowing?
You never expect your kid not to come home.
Broken Angel Sunday.
A perfect game starts with the perfect equipment, and Bowler Supply is right up your alley. Select from bowling balls such as Vector, Hammer, Thunderbolt, and more. Personalized fitting and custom drilling to improve your game. Check out the colorful selection of bags, shoes, and apparel. For the pool player, rack them up on a new billiard table. Choose from in-stock tables or have one custom crafted to complement your decor. We stock accessories, too. For all your billiard needs and the largest inventory of bowling supplies in Central PA, visit Bowler Supply, 401 Carlisle Avenue, York.
Harrisburg Copiers wants to help your business be more productive with Mita high-performance copiers, the advanced copying system for today's business needs, the pressures of business. Today's copiers must be faster, easier to use, more reliable, versatility and productivity. Mita Copiers, performance and beyond. Harrisburg Copiers stands behind every Mita copier with service and reliability. See the selection of quality Mita copiers at Harrisburg Copiers. Simply the best with 25 years experience.
WHTM TV 27, Harrisburg.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by Choice Hotels International and by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning.
And I got too much in front. Here in the Senior Invitational in Las Vegas, Tommy Evans defeating Bobby Meadows 236 to 222. 7 strikes for Evans, the winner, who now goes against John Handegard in another seniors event, Bo.
Chris, I think being loosened up as Evans is now will produce a lot of strikes. Handegard, a much more experienced player, but you just can't beat that relaxedness that and the confidence you gain from a victory. So let's see if Tommy Evans cuts it loose. He had a great first game. I look for even a better game in this round.
Last year, this event was won by the great Earl Anthony. This year finished 29th. Just like a winner should do.
A lot of great players in this 355-man field. Sutar and Zahn, both Hall of Famers, competed for all of the money. They paid almost 90 places, 89 places here in the Seniors Tour. As you see, Handegard, who's been excellent the last 2 years in the Seniors.
Smooth, this 53-year-old, now making his home Las Vegas, Nevada. 6'1", 170 pounds. Here's his form.
Top shape, 4-step delivery, absolutely textbook style. Look at how steady that head is, shoulder high. Look at the good pivot on that right foot. Stays down very well. As some of the younger players can learn from that shot. Good high follow through and a perfect result.
Has 2 senior titles to his credit in Hammond, Indiana, and then came right back to win at Battle Creek. Boy, oh boy, is that impressive.
Yeah, sweet shots there. Handegard has been very successful in the last year. He's got his confidence up, and he's going to give Evans all he can handle. I think this could be a strike-a-thon. They have a nice lane condition out here. As you look at Evans coming up in the second frame, trying to keep pace with his opponent, Handegard.
And Tommy Evans not to be outdone. The Belmont Stakes, where they play the sidewalks of New York in a blanket of white carnations. Double horse racing action, wide world of sports. The final jewel in the Chrysler Triple Crown Challenge, Belmont Stakes, plus the American Championship Racing Series continues with the Nassau County Handicap live. So it's a battle between Strike the Gold and Hansel for the Chrysler $1 million bonus.
Whew. Chris, if they both run out of the money and Maine Minister finishes first or second, he can win the $1 million.
All right, Tommy Evans now has started with 3 in a row after shooting at 236 in his victory over Bobby Meadows. And Meadows shooting at 222.
2 keys for a senior player. I asked Handegard why he's so good right now. Is number 1, he stays really good with his knee bend. Number 2, he keeps his legs in top shape, so he keeps that ball speed up. As you see his position on the approach, he's got 2 in a row.
No, the 2-time winner on the PBA Tour. 3 in a row. What changes had he made in his game to be a winner? Here's what he said.
Everybody has a routine, and I was so concerned that my routine was slow that I would rush my shot. So I went and bought a stopwatch, had a friend time me. I found out that my average time was around 13 seconds, and once I knew that, I could relax and just go through my normal shot.
Quite a deliberate player, and you see he's right at that 12 or 13 seconds right now. This is a 25-second clock. He's off in 7 feet.
Then there was a 6, 7, 10.
Big trouble. He could have opened up at least 4 in a row and put Tommy Evans some pressure on him. What he has to do is get the ball over in this area and slide over in the 6, 7 area. Here's the way to do it. Get that ball over to the left side, drive that 6-pin in to the 7. Tough shot, about 9-to-1 odds for the pros.
Nearly beat the odds. Okay, we're in our second match of the PBA Seniors Invitational. John Handegard and Tommy Evans.
Reserve a room at any Choice Hotel like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep, and get this fabulous coupon book absolutely free. You'll save at places like Alamo Rent-A-Car, Red Lobster, and theme parks, a value of over $1,000. So call for your coupon book today.
Bye-bye.
Vanna White not included. Oh. Call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve your room and free coupon book. Supplies are limited.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Wow! What a game.
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Kelly LeBrock reveals the essence of man.
Hard to define, easy to know. When he holds you close, it's in the way he smells. Brute, the essence of man. Come on, put it on.
Bowling's big guns head to the Pacific Northwest for their tour's next showdown. It'll be a battle at the Seattle Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour in 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks we'll go to the glorious Northwest. Seattle. Another regular PBA tour stop on our spring-summer tour. A few summers for Tommy Evans, 50 years of age. Trailing by 15. Excuse me, leading by 15 as he leaves the 3-6-10. He's going against John Handegard. If you just joined us, Tommy Evans defeated Bobby Meadows in our first game, 236 to 222. And the next star to step in to meet the winner of this game will be Huntsville, Alabama's Jimmy Certain. We'll hear from him in a moment. Tommy just does it, and here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Alabama's finest in the semifinal game. Jimmy, you struggled a little bit finding the winner's circle on the Seniors Tour, and then you made a change to become a winner. What's your strategy?
Well, used to I just try to make too good a shot instead of just playing it within my game, and I just try to be aggressive and make good shots and not worry about it. Used to, I was nervous, and now I just attack.
Does it make any difference if you start or finish the game?
I'm gonna let my opponent start where I can like come out of the gate with a double and get ahead of him and put a little pressure on him and see what happens.
All right, he's ready for a quick start just like a racehorse, Chris. We'll see what happens.
Yes, sir. The land of the late, great Bear Bryant, Jimmy Certain. Like all of us, he was one of the Bears' great admirers. John Handegard, Las Vegas. Trailing by 12 after an open frame. He's shooting in the 5th. Tough break, leaving the 10.
First real solid tap anybody's had in the championship round so far, the solid 10. As you look at it, Eric, his son, here to root his daddy on. Eric like to be a professional bowler himself, but he's got a great coach in his dad. His dad's learned the hard way. Kept training and training and training, very diligent at the game, excellent practicer, and now he's reaping the fruits of all that practice.
And Eric has two sisters, Debbie and Linda. Eric Handegard, classic style of his father. Speaking of classic styles, the great Dick Weber is here. We'll hear from him after a while. And his son, Rich Weber, tournament director for the seniors.
National tournament directors, you see a re-rack by John Handegard. Handegard with just a perfect style. Let's check out how he stands on the lane. This is the way a lot of great players start. They start here. He'll drift a little bit to the left, keeping that swing inside out, and he'll go right around the first arrow.
So it's a strike in the 6th frame. John Handegard. And off to our right, Jimmy Certain continues to stay loose. You'll hear pinfall as he practices.
Key shot for Tommy Evans. He is really struggling on this right-hand lane. He's broken up a couple of splits. He's also got a crossover strike to keep him in the match. So he needs to get lined in or he'll be in trouble.
A little confused as he leaves the 1-2-4.
Ball going left, right, across, almost like a pinochle game, passing the cards. What he needs to do is get way out to the right-hand corner. and get the ball over here for the 1-2-4, converting it like that. He'll stay in the lead in the match. But his adjustment for a strike ball has to be to the extreme outside line on this tighter lane. Three of the 5 players in the championship round were full roller players. They learned to bowl during the lacquer eras. Today we have polyurethane lane finishes, and a full roller player rolls the ball between the thumb and finger holes. It's a very precise shot, doesn't have the power necessary, and all 3 of these players, Jimmy Certain, John Handegard, and Tommy Evans, have all made that change, letting that ball roll outside the thumb and fingers with a bigger, more powerful hook, and that's the reason they're successful today. Solid 8, one of Tommy's best shots, and didn't get the result he wanted. See his position as he goes through the shot, nice and smooth, inside-out swing, good follow-through. See that ball follow-through up by the right shoulder instead of in front of his head? The ball just chops the 5-pin straight off the 8. Bad break.
All right, Tommy Evans marks with a spare in the 7th frame. He is leading by 11 pins.
Fat-free? I can't wait to taste this. What's it called? A bit of celery? Box of nothing? I'm sick of watching out for fat. To me, everything good has fat in it. Now, you're not telling me these are fat-free, because these are some delicious flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free? Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Will take the ribbon from my hair.
A good reason to taste them again for the first time.
A lot of women find my looks intimidating. Do you?
My mother makes the best brisket.
There I was in the Congo.
Why is a good man so hard to find?
Just a minute, okay? Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's dry brewed, not watered down. To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So while men aren't perfect, at least refreshment is.
The country's top 3-year-olds go after a $1 million bonus in the final jewel of the Triple Crown. It's the Belmont Stakes live next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Don't miss the Belmont Stakes on ABC. Hell of a race. I've done it many, many years way back, and near the sidewalks of New York, Bo, is a big thrill.
You bet, Chris. And we probably have a 3rd different winner in the Triple Crown events because Strike the Golden Hansel will probably struggle in this race. And right now in the match, it behooves John Handegard to get a strike to cut the lead to 1.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot to be said for seniors competition in not only golf, but right here in bowling. I'm sorry we don't have 1 or 2 more on our regular series of 24 telecasts.
I agree, Chris. Great names in there. Look at some of the other names in this field. Don McCune, Les Schisler, Carmen Salvino, Billy Walden from my home area, Bill Bianetta, Hall of Famer, Les Sykes, Bob Kowalik, Roy Ryan, you name them. They've all been here in this 355-man field, and now Handegard can take the lead, 8th frame.
All right. Yes, it's performance like that that have made great fans of the seniors by our producer, Carol Letty, and our director, Larry Cam.
Now Tommy Evans being pressed for the first time in the championship round. He kind of eased over Bobby Meadows as Meadows gave him an early opening. But now the pressure's on him as he trails for the first time by 9 pins, 8th frame on the lane he is really struggling on.
Just slid by, leaving the 2.
You can see his ball trajectory between the 1st and 2nd arrows, and this being the much slicker lane, the old adage in bowling, if you're missing right, move right. So he has to move to the extreme outside line, and he's going to have to do it in the 10th frame, or he cannot win this match. It'll have to be a calculated and bold move, but if he doesn't do it, Handegard's going to nail him down.
And it was Tommy Evans, who defeated Bobby Meadows in our first match, 236 to 222.
All right, the scene for Tommy Evans, he has a possible 235. Right now, Handegard going at a 225 pace. So once again, the 9th and 10th frames will tell the story.
And his wife Lynn, parents of Tracy and Raymond. So now John Handegard, winner of 2 PBA Seniors events, last year earning $24,700. This far this year, $4,570. His son cheering him on as he has strung 4 now and takes a 20-pin lead.
Eric looking up at the automatic scoreboard, he realizes his father's going at a 235 pace. Evans a possible 235, so it's the man who could perform in the 10th frame will be the winner, go on to meet Jimmy Certain in the semifinal. Second clock in your right-hand corner.
Tough break.
Look at the eyes of Handegard. Big trouble. Did he open the door up right here? You see a little quick with his feet, a little anxious in the 10th frame. Ball cuts through the middle. The 4, 6, 7, an almost impossible split. All he can do is go for the 4-7. Get it over in here and hopefully bounce one of those pins out into the 6. Make sure you make the 4 and the 7.
Always trying, John Handegard.
Well, he went for a low percentage shot to convert it, sliding the 6 over into the 4-7 area. Now he has opened the door for Tommy Evans. Tommy Evans needs a strike on this ball to win the match.
218 for Handegard.
Evans has really struggled on this lane. He needs all he can put together and muster up. Right here.
Wow. John Handegard, the winner, sitting and watching as it's just a tough break for Tommy Evans, who won our first match. The casino here at the Showboat Lanes. We'll be back.
ABC Sports Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Today's bowling tip is on simple spare making. Some people believe that a single pin spare is more difficult to convert than a cluster of pins. A single pin looks so lonely and so small down there 60 feet away from the foul line. When in actuality, a cluster is much more difficult to convert than the single pin. Let's look at the margin of error available to convert a single pin spare. The pin's diameter is 4.5 inches. The diameter of a bowling ball is 8.5 inches. And obviously you can hit the pin on either side and still knock it over. When we consider the width of a bowling lane to be 42 inches, you can see that you have more than half the lane to use and still convert the single pin spare. Now, armed with this knowledge, your confidence should quickly rise in converting simple single pin spares.
There are days when the sun is hotter, the air is thicker, days when the breezes don't blow, the dogs don't bark, days when your tongue feels like the bottom of your shoe, and you can't stand to watch some overpaid actress enjoy the thirst-quenching, tangy citrus taste of squirt while you do all the talking. Lady, give me that squirt. Come on, lady. Give your thirst a squirt.
What do I know about kitchen stuff?
Small appliances.
Plug.
Outlet.
Want to know any more? Ask Dave.
This Windmere 12-inch 3-speed oscillating fan only $13.99, and the Host King hose wheel is just $19.99.
Hey, Ace is the place. place for me.
Let me tell you.
Personnel, please.
7th floor.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
Dear Thompson.
Honey, I ran out of...
Midway through waterproofing our new deck, I ran out of Thompson's water seal and finished with another brand. 2 days later, it rained. It was amazing.
Wow.
You could actually see the Thompson side working. The other side looked like I hadn't used a thing.
Thompson's Water Seal has 50% more active ingredients than most brands for more waterproofing power.
You can see the difference. For my money, nothing tops Thompson's. And I proved it. Sincerely, Marcia Jackalone, Bassett, Wisconsin.
It's a symbol of security for millions of Americans. A document that protects your rights in all 50 states. And an inspiration for all who honor it. It's the Goodyear Promise. Available only with Goodyear Certified Auto Service. It includes a nationwide warranty that promises we'll fix your car right or fix it again free at 2,700 locations nationwide. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection at Score More. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Tournament summary now of our PBA Seniors Invitational. First match, Tommy Evans defeating Bobby Meadows. 7 strikes, 236, 222. Then in steps John Handegard defeating Tommy Evans. 218 to 203, and Handegard now will go against Alabama's Jimmy Certain. Our next 2 stops on the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast, we go to the Northwest. And it's going to be interesting in Seattle and Portland. Seattle 2 weeks from today. And then on the 29th of June, Portland.
Big field here in the Las Vegas area. 355 players. Second largest field in the last decade. Average game 195, 211. Here's some of the other players. Gene Stuss just missed by 2 pins. Bill Johnson, great bowler and golfer. Moore and Hicks rounding out 8th and 9th places. Walt Block, Deacon, they tied for 10th place. The great Dick Weber, who will be in the announce booth during the final game. Deans finished 13th. Gus Marcel, a friend of mine from St. Louis, 900-man, Glenn Allison, a Hall of Famer. An attorney, Toole, who used to back Earl Anthony on the tour, made it in the top 5. Spezio and Jerry Hale, 18th and 19th. Alfonso Pujol, Manny Cabral's favorite player. Gasser, 22nd. Holden, 23rd. And here's the top 24. 69-year-old Art Hare rounding out the top 24. 90 spots paid in the tournament. We're ready for the semifinal, Chris.
And Carmen Salvino finished 63rd. Billy Walden tied for 65th. So on down the lines. And you know, they have a class in the seniors called the Super Seniors, 60 and over.
60 and over was dominated by George King and Walker, as there were almost 80 guys in the Super Seniors division. Now, first game, semifinal, first shot.
All right. John Handegard. Now, get a look at 5'9", 199-pound Jimmy Certain. 52 years old, number 1 average shooter at 216.5 last year. 2 PBA national titles, 4 regionals, and 2 senior titles. Seven.
Certain sends it wide on the tighter lane. Pretty good shot. As you can see, Certain is one of the few power players really on the senior tour. As you see his profile, Jimmy came out as a throwback. In the 1960s, as you see his position, was a power player. Had to straighten that ball out in the 70s to be competitive, and now he's back to some power bowling in the 90s.
There he is. Dick Weber. As we indicated earlier, his eldest son, Rich, is the tournament director of the seniors.
Dick won the first 3 seniors tournaments ever held here at the Showboat. Now, Jimmy Certain, second frame.
Jimmy crossing over, leaving the 3-6-10. Speaking of more of the Webbers, Pete Weber to be married to Kim Schultheis on Thursday.
This week, we wish him the best, and I'm sure Dick and family will be heading back to St. Louis for that ceremony. Pete, returning to the tour in the fall, is currently bowling's leading money winner, professional bowling.
Jimmy Certain, 2 spares. Opening with a strike was this man, now shooting in the second frame.
Handegard, well practiced. When he gets loose, has been fantastic. In his second championship, he averaged 242 in the TV matches. So he's loosened up after that first game win. Let's see what happens here.
There it is again.
4-7, 4-6-7. Almost cost him the previous match, and he had tried to make it by getting the ball over here and sliding it over in this area, but my best way is to bounce it out. So let's take a look if he goes for the 4-7 or the 6. The percentage is the left corner.
So after an opening strike, an open frame in the second. Capacity crowd here at the Showboat Lanes.
John still bowls in league. He's a 218 average bowler. He changed from that full roller release in 1973. He says he used to roll the ball between the thumb and finger holes, as I indicated. Never worked on the modern lane conditions, and now he's with that powerful semi-roller. He needs to get it going.
Good break there, leaving only the 4-7.
The lanes are drying out. It's warm in Las Vegas, 100+ degrees outside. It's warm in the bowling center. The lanes are drying up. John must make a move on the approach. Move those feet a couple boards left and give the ball some room. Don't want to go high too often and give Certain a wide open start.
Now we get Jimmy Certain up and at him. PBA member for 24 years. Won the Showboat in 1989, which helped him to become the Seniors Bowler of the Year.
See Jimmy's position. He'll drift slightly left and give the ball a lot of room. Both players a little bit surprised that what they don't realize is they're kind of aiming the ball that tightens up their arm. It slows down the ball speed, and it doesn't what we call set up at the pocket. It should set right there with that soft ball speed, about 16 or 17 miles an hour instead of 18 or 19. The ball is drifting high. Just need to pick up the speed.
Okay, Jimmy Certain. We asked him why he felt he'd been so successful in the senior tour when other top names haven't.
I think basically it's because I stayed on the tour so long. I stayed out with a regular tour until I was 49, and then switching over to the senior tour is a lot less competition because I've been bowling against those guys 20 years.
The Southern gentleman.
Still bowls league at Parkway Lanes, averaging 220 in Huntsville, Alabama.
Ah, he liked that. Fourth frame strike. And we're in our semifinal game of the PBA Seniors Invitational. We'll be back.
Kelly LeBrock reveals the essence of man.
Hard to define, easy to know. It's in the way he holds a drink, the way he wears his clothes, the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he smiles, looks, and kisses. And when he holds you close, it's in the way he smells. Brute, the essence of man. Come on, put it on.
So, I'm having breakfast with my buddies, and I order Kellogg's Bran Flakes. Right away, Scott says, "Problem, Dad?" Truth is, Kellogg's Bran Flakes taste terrific. It's this nutty, toasted wheat taste, and hey, come on, right? The Kellogg's, right? So, I lean over to Scott, look him right in the eye, and I say, did you know a spoon can be a deadly weapon? Oh. Yeah. Eat a little, oh, double good Kellogg's Bran Flakes. Toasted taste to you.
The World League's best go head-to-head with the championship crown on the line. Barcelona meets London in the first ever World Bowl. Live tomorrow on ABC Sports.
You're looking at Jimmy Certain of Huntsville, Alabama. When we went away, his opponent, John Handegard, led by 7. He bowled in the 4th frame with a strike. 5th frame is 7-10. His second opened in 3 frames, so Handegard trails by 5. Certain can increase his lead to 15 with a strike here in the 5th frame. And gets him, Bo.
John Hricsina, John, you got 2 tough, experienced players out there. Which player would you rather bowl in the semifinal or in the final match?
Well, I'm really not thinking who I'd rather bowl. They're both 2 of the top bowlers on the senior tour. I'm trying to get focused in on lofting the ball and swinging it and make sure I stay down at the line and keep my elbow in. I've got a lot of things to think about, so that's what I'm thinking about right now.
All right, 17,000 awaiting the winner. Chris will know in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, the mailman, John Hricsina. And Jimmy Certain's high hit leaves 3-6, and he holds his head. He is wired for sound.
Pressure and heat.
Mm-hmm.
Evidenced by Jimmy Certain's forehead. You know, under extreme pressure like that, one of the things that the players have to battle is perspiration on the hands. You know, you can sit at home in nice air conditioning, no pressure, and practice. That ball feels good. All of a sudden, when it feels a little squishy in those holes, it's hard to make a tough shot.
All right. After 2 open frames in 4, John Handegard has come back with a strike in the 6th. Coming up next on Wide World of Sport, the final jewel in racing's Triple Crown, Belmont. And the Chrysler Triple Crown Challenge is a small field but a quality one. Hansel and Strike the Goal battling it out. Plus the American Championship Racing Series continues with the Nassau County Handicap, also live. So now, John Handegard, who won the previous game, has cut Jimmy Certain's lead to a mere 3 pins. We're at Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas. More after this.
Yeah, they can come out with any technology they want, but this is going to be the future. With the Norelco, I get a very clean, comfortable shave. Because I have rough hands, and if I can feel smooth, then I like it. It's just so easy. You know, it's a 90s type product.
Now, Norelco's patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin.
It's very close, it's very comfortable, and it's clean.
The new Norelco, a new level of closeness and comfort.
Here's news. If your athlete's foot won't go away, you could have more than athlete's foot. You could have a secondary yeast infection. That's right, yeast.
Only Mycotin cures both athlete's foot and secondary yeast infections with Myconazole. Step up to the Mycotin.
With the chalky taste of some antacids, it can seem that the cure is worse than the pain. Introducing new Mylanta Cherry and Cool Mint Creams, the best tasting antacids, blended creamier for a non-chalky taste.
No wonder my doctor said Mylanta.
Join Golf's Golden Bear for a special look ahead at this year's national championship. It's the U.S. Open preview featuring Jack Nicklaus tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Longtime friends, Cliff Taylor on the left, Executive Vice President, Showboat Hotel and Casino, and the Commissioner of the PBA, Joe Andonora, flying in from Akron to Las Vegas.
Jimmy Certain. Spare up in the 6th, 7th frame, trails by 3. A lot of bowling left in this semifinal match.
Two pin.
I was just talking with our statistician, touring player Butch Soper, saying how tough this right-hand lane is year after year after year. The ball hangs if you send it wide, as Certain just did, coming in light, leaving the 2-pin. And if you start it up towards the head pin to try to accommodate it, as maybe Tommy Evans did, or we've seen Handegard try, it runs high. So really the key lane is the right-hand lane. If you can hit that, you're on your way to the championship.
So we've come here to do a seniors event. Looking in the audience, the tournament director for the PBA, Harry Golden, who lives in Las Vegas, has retired recently from that role which he fulfilled like perhaps nobody else could. He's here. Dick Evans, distinguished journalist and PBA Hall of Famer, is here as well, helping the seniors along.
And we'll see how Certain's playing the lanes. Now, Certain, the cranker, he'll start here, and he'll have kind of a serpentine approach, end up here, and then swing the ball real wide out around the first arrow.
Powerful in the 8th frame, Jimmy Certain. Though I can't let this telecast end without praising the Desert Storm troops that are being honored today in Washington, as led by their general, Norman Schwarzkopf. And on Monday, ticker tape parade in New York City. We congratulate them.
I believe everybody in this country feels the same, Chris.
All right, there is 3 in a row now for John Handegard and an 8-pin lead. Coming up in 2 weeks, ABC's Pro Bowler Tour heads to the Pacific Northwest for high rolling action with $125,000 Seattle Open right here in 2 weeks on ABC. Next week, the PBA regular tour will stop at Earl Anthony's Dublin bowling establishment for another of their regular tour stops.
And the Seattle Open for us will be the 4th of 8 on ABC television all the way through the first week of August. Now, John Handegard, 8-pin lead, 9th frame. Match is still up for grabs. Boy, did he throw some sweet shots there as his son Eric looks on in the 8th and 9th frames. He has really put the pressure on Jimmy Certain. And once again, Certain is up on the tough lane. This was the lane that was the undoing of Tommy Evans as he lost to Handegard. And so far, it's been the trouble with Jimmy Certain's game. He needs this strike. Now, let's take a look at Certain's approach. You'll see him start in this area, and he'll swing right out into this area. Disappointing.
Wow.
He had chosen to finish on the left-hand lane, and he struck every frame except twice on the left-hand lane, and if he had struck here, he'd had a chance to win the match. Throws it wide. Solid 10. Jimmy absolutely must strike in the 10th frame. As the scoreboard tells the story, Handegard going at a 2:05 pace. Right now, Certain can cut the lead down to less than a mark if he can strike twice in the 10th.
Ooh, bad breaks. Gee.
Didn't seem like Jimmy was into it on that shot. They almost like he had already lost the match, and it wasn't true. If he could have struck there, he'd have been in business. Now he's left the 4-9. He's quickly up to shoot at it. He cannot win the match. The final is going to be John Handegard and John Hricsina.
All right, it's a 175. Very disappointing to Jimmy Certain with 2 senior titles, including the 1989 PBA National Invitational right here. Now, Handegard will be in the finals. Leaving a 5-8 at a 4-bagger up.
It's going to be enough to win. The spare and a strike, he'd have 204, and his opponent will be kind of an unheralded player who turned 50 years old last year and has been very, very tough on the Seniors Tour. The Player of the Year last year, John Hricsina, for the championship.
ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from your ABC stations.
fat-free? I can't wait to taste this. What's it called? A bit of celery, box of nothing. I'm sick of watching out for fat. To me, everything good has fat in it. Now, you're not telling me these are fat-free, because these are some delicious flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free? Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Will take the ribbon from my hair.
A good reason to taste them again for the first time.
When your office is 200,000 acres of rugged woodland, and you train the men who prevent anything from happening to it, you need a deodorant you can depend on. Men count on Old Spice deodorant. It works to prevent odor, to neutralize it before it starts. There's nothing else this effective with the clean classic scent of Old Spice. You bet. Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
Sunday, start the summer with a star-studded splash with K.T. Oslin, Garth Brooks, Ricky Van Shelton, Jim Stafford, Alabama, and more on SeaWorld Star-Spangled Summer Sunday.
This ex-cop got caught with his policeman's pants down. Gordon Younger and his call girl lover were running an escort service until she turned him in. This Marine captain's wife mysteriously disappeared, but police couldn't find a body or a weapon. There was only one bombshell clue, a computer disk with the captain's 26-step plan to kill his wife.
A Current Affair Extra, Sunday night, 11:30 on 27 WHTF.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if you could just get away from it all right now and go fishing? Yeah, just you, a couple of friends, some fish, and a beautiful supply of beer, like Keystone, the premium cold-filtered beer in a can. It tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. Yeah, wouldn't it be great if the only other person for miles around was the pizza delivery guy? Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Weather with Rob Dixon, tonight at 6 on 27 News.
We'll get you back to bowling in just a moment, but right now, a report from Belmont Park in New York. I'm Al Michaels with a reminder that coming up very shortly will be our coverage of the final leg of the Triple Crown, the 123rd running of the Belmont Stakes. The favorite in the early betting is the Kentucky Derby winner, Strike the Gold, who comes back to his home track. He trains here. He is currently 2-1. Complete coverage coming up at 4:30 Eastern Time from Belmont. Right now, back to Chris Schenkel.
Okay, semifinal game. We'll give you that score later. Right now, Tommy Evans defeating Bobby Meadows 236 to 222. And then in our second match, in steps John Handegard, defeating Tommy Evans 218 to 203. And then John defeating Jimmy Sirk 202 to 175. 7 strikes in his first victory, 6 in the last match. So now he goes against John Hricsina, the 1990 Senior PBA Player of the Year. And here he is, Dick Weber.
Well, thanks, Chris. Always a pleasure being with the two champions on my left and right, so it's a pleasure.
One senior and one soon-to-be senior on your right.
We're going to welcome him with open
Won't we,
arms.
though? He wants to duck it, but we're not going to let him.
Well, thanks. Quickly, Dick Weber, you have won here 4 championships. You won the first 3 seniors, as you see, the all-time senior leader, and you also won in 1963 on the regular tour. Predict a winner here for us in the championship game. You got 2 experienced guys out there.
Well, I'm the kind of guy that always goes with the leader. John Hricsina really came on strong yesterday, so I have to favor him over Handegard, even though Handegard is bowling fairly well.
Okay. I kind of have a tendency to agree with you. Both players very tough.
First leading is 6-10. I will have to tell you that all male men stick together. Dick Weber, having in his youth, a mailman in Indianapolis, and John Hricsina, active. He's going on his 32nd year, Dick, as a rural mail carrier, 75-mile trip each day.
That's a tough job, too. Mental mistake there.
Well, we've also talked about it, Dick, of changing balls. You know, I never had that when I was coming up, and you probably never changed balls for spares, and it's always a different feel, and often you don't get out of the ball cleanly.
Well, being from the old days, I have to agree with you. Of course, the younger fellas have a different thing in mind, and they feel that the harder shell ball is better spare maker.
John Handegard, classic style. Fun to watch. This is his third game of the afternoon, shooting a .218 against Tommy Evans, a .202 against Jimmy Certain.
A style that I was the victim of a number of times when I played you, getting out of the gate very quickly. Handegard has done that.
He certainly has, and to me, that gives him a great advantage. So, he's got such a great clean release.
And the tournament leader in trouble.
The right-hand lane has just been the undoing of almost everybody today. As Hricsina goes wide, you see his powerful profile, has slightly bent elbow, a little bit like Earl Anthony or even Don Carter. Then he has a tremendous wrist lift, but he can't make it hook around on this lane.
So now 2 frames, 2 opens for the tournament leader, John Hricsina. You know, he told me that this is the 6th time he has been a tournament leader. The worst start against him by any of his opponents were 3 in a row. So he's really had some tough beginnings, hasn't he?
That's for sure. And he's finished 5th, 4th, and 3rd in this tournament the last 3 years, and if he doesn't get going, it'll be the 2nd.
That coming in the 3rd frame, but his opponent, John Handegard, with a double shooting now in the 3rd.
Handegard bowls both the regular tour against the top pros and the seniors tour, and that really is a toughening regimen.
3-bagger. Dick Weber, how many more tournaments will you bowl this year?
Well, Chris, I'm going to bowl all the tournaments that's remaining on the senior tour. I just don't believe I have it to compete with the juniors anymore, as we call them. But
okay.
And I think I'm going to retire when I'm 96 or 97. I haven't quite decided yet.
All right.
This is the 4th of 12 tournaments on the 1991 senior tour. Now Handegard, with 3 in a row, can extend his lead to 52 in the 4th with a strike.
Look at that. 4 in a row. John Handegard, winner of 2 matches now in the final game against John Hricsina. We'll be back to take a look at Spring Mountain Ranch State Park.
This summer, you can win one of 50,000 prizes worth over $1 million by finding one man.
I'm back, and this time I brought friends.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before? You know, you look very familiar. Nice suits.
Find a Budman certificate inside packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft to win.
Nothing beats a Bud Man!
Water helps your garden grow. Want to know any more? Ask Ace.
This Ace 60-foot garden hose is just $8.77, and Ace 5-star acrylic latex house paint is only $8.97 a gallon.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
Let me tell you. Personnel, please. 7th floor.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
Bowling's big guns head to the Pacific Northwest for their tour's next showdown. It'll be a battle at the Seattle Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour in 2 weeks.
This man, John Handegard, who won 2 matches coming into the final game against John Hricsina, had 4 in a row. Now he has just left the 10-pin on the right lane. Meanwhile, as we were away, John Hricsina, 3-bagger after 2 open frames to begin the championship game.
Handegard has made the proper move on the right-hand lane. He's playing the extreme outside line around the first board, and it's giving him no trouble and quite an advantage in this match. John John Handegard, who really resides in the Las Vegas area, is just full-time bowling now. He's bowling the regular tour, the seniors tour, and regional tournaments. So he kind of has the best of all three worlds available at the professional bowling level, and he's making the most of it. Right now he leads by 31, 6th frame.
Well, I also might add that, you know, you're talking about John Handegard. He's one of the most dedicated practice bowlers that we have on the senior tour, because he'll practice 4 hours in the morning and then come back that evening and practice another 2 or 3 hours.
Well, that's what it really does, and as you see him leave that solid 10, Dick, there's really not much you can do about that, is there?
No, not much. Just keep it in that pocket and leave that 10. It's a simple spare.
Okay, Handegard, as Hricsina is up 3 in a row, shooting in the 6th frame, trailing by 30. Can cut it to 20.
Key shot for John Hricsina. Everybody has struggled on the right-hand lane. He's made the adjustment, really trusting the ball wide, almost into the gutter, going around that hard board. Let's see if he can put here in the clutch. There it is.
Susan and the 2 daughters, Sandy and Valerie, who both work here in the Las Vegas area. Okay, we asked John earlier why he didn't bowl on the regular tour when he's so successful on the seniors tour.
Well, I worked for the Postal Service, and I had a real secure job, and I liked my job, and at the time when I had a choice to go on join the professionals, the money wasn't all that great, and I had 2 choices, either work or gamble on winning money with bowling, and I took the choice of working.
Is this fun at all, Dick Weber, the senior tour?
Oh, this is one of the greatest thrills of my life, Chris, being one of the pioneers of the senior tour also, but just being out here with the fellas that you bowled with in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's just a privilege and an honor.
Great guys.
Wonderful guys.
Great shot makers, too, like John Handegard.
Handegard definitely has the advantage. Experienced player going against Hricsina. Both of them are winners. And Handegard, two victories under his belt. But more than that, he is very confident on the lane that has stopped everybody. Hricsina had a chance to make this a close match in the 6th frame. He missed the right-hand lane. So, once again, the ball is in Handegard's court. He can do what he wants with it. Key shot here can extend his lead to 41.
Boy. 218 against Evans, 202 against Jimmy Certain, and now turning it on against John Hricsina.
Handegard going at a 238 pace. Hricsina a possible 237, but he must start striking. Camera work told the story that time. We saw him go wide almost out to the channel from the same position on the lane. We saw him go wide towards the channel in the 6th frame, leave a 4-pin. Now he doesn't send it quite as wide, leaves the 6-pin. He's in trouble.
Okay, Dick Weber, I want to know about a young shot maker that we've known since birth named Pete. Nuptials coming up.
This Thursday, June 13th at 3:30 p.m. on our back porch.
Oh, that's great.
So,
we wish them a lot of happiness.
Thank you.
Congratulate the parents.
Thank you.
As the championship match goes, right now Hricsina needs to get striking. John Hricsina with a spare here would have a potential 206 game. Only disaster can keep Handegard from being the 1991 Seniors Invitational champion.
Knowing Bo, the great competitor that John is, you gave the rundown of how he's finished here, 5, 4, 3.
And it's going to be 2, Chris. And you know what? He was
good numbers if you're a gambler.
But it was on his mind before the championship. He says, you know, Bo, I finished 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and it may be 2nd because I'm the tournament leader. I can only go 1 or 2 places.
and saying that the worst start against him was a 3-bagger, and here Handegard hit him with 4.
You know, remarking about John Handegard, you know, the first block he bowled, which we had 3 8-game blocks before we cut to the top 24 this week, John Handegard bowled 20 pins under in his 8-game block, which is a 198-point average, and he was in trouble at one time, and then all of a sudden made some changes with some bowling balls and timing, and got right back into the swing of things.
Last night he moved from 6th to 1st, winning all 6 match games. All right. Winner of 2 senior events in Hammond, Indiana, and Battle Creek.
Nothing like confidence, right, Dick Weber? John Handegard struggled for 22 years in professional bowling, never won a tournament, then won a couple, and here he's on the threshold of number 3.
Well, as you well know, confidence is the whole thing. You've had it in your life, and I know Chris has had it in his life, in his profession, and it's a thing that you have to have, that's for sure.
Boy, oh boy, John Handegard. Really on, and his son Eric watching him in person. I'm sure he enjoyed his dad's smile right there. That's not a bad winning smile either, is it?
Little victory rack for Handegard, a potential 247 with 2 more strikes. You know, Dick Weber, the seniors bowled really well in the championship rounds today. I don't have the exact figures, but it has to be close to a 220 average, and it just shows you the kind of talent that's out here.
It's getting tougher and tougher all the time, Bo, because we have well over 700 members in our PBA senior division. So the 50-year-olds are really coming out in droves.
All right, a big 247 for Eric's dad, John. Boy, for Hricsina's final, he has to finish. While we're waiting, let's go to our colleague Jim McKay.
No better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. 'Cause the AM surely is my favorite sign.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for: to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
So I'm standing in the checkout line, and this really attractive woman sees I have Kellogg's Bran Flakes. And she says,
Buying that for your father?
come on, they taste terrific. That's why I eat Kellogg's Bran Flakes. It's a nutty, toasted wheat taste. And they're Kellogg's. So I turned to this woman. I looked her straight in the eye, and I said, yeah, they're for Dad. K-E-double-L-O-double good. Kellogg's Bran Flakes. Toasted taste to you.
Ford trucks. The best never rest.
Look, everybody knows our full-size pickup's priced less than Chevy, right? That's just for starters. This study shows the F-150 will cost less to operate. And look, it'll hold its value better than Chevy. It's more than a good truck. It's a good investment.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Wow! What a game!
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
Hey, she's a lot tougher than she looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
I smoke, but where I work, it's not allowed. No problem. I've got Wrigley Spearmint Gum. That cool, clean taste always works for me. When I can't smoke, I enjoy pure chewing satisfaction.
Seniors Invitational champion, you see the money he earned, $13,000, John Handegard, and the rest of the money down the line. Tough break for our friend John Hricsina. He's been 5th, 4th, 3rd, now 2nd, but you're number 1.
Well, I tell you what, thanks a lot, folks. I'd just like to thank the Showboat, Cliff Taylor, Jack Cook, Vicky, Jack's wife, too, everybody here. It's been a wonderful week. Started out slow and had a couple of good blocks, made the finals. I really feel quite fortunate to be standing here today.
When was the last time we had you on television?
ABC?
Mm-hmm.
1973 or 75.
Wow, we aren't that old. Let's bring in Cliff Taylor, Executive Vice President here with the check, and Jack Cook with the trophy. Gentlemen?
John, really congratulations, and seems like I keep seeing your name on checks. I believe you won the shootout, the senior shootout just this last week, didn't you?
That's right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. My biggest paycheck right here.
The biggest thus far, and what was the shootout, 8,000?
8,000, right.
Okay.
John, congratulations. You both great all week. Glad to have you as our champion.
Thank you.
That's now number 3. I know you'll stay out on the tour the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah, I plan on bowling all the seniors, and I plan on bowling 2 or 3 of the national stops when the seniors aren't playing. I like to bowl every week.
You had a fan in the audience. We want to praise him. I think he gave you a lot of encouragement as we have to say goodbye pretty quick. Eric?
Yeah, my son Eric. He works here in the pro shop, does a great job. Thanks a lot, son. Appreciate it.
Okay, there you have it. John Handegard, 247. John Hricsina, 206. See you in 2 weeks in Seattle. So for Nelson Burton Jr., I'm Chris Schenkel. So long from the Showboat in Las Vegas. The executive producer of ABC Sports' presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour is Jack O'Hara. Produced by Carol Letty. Directed by Larry Camp. Technical Director Michael Carmen. Associate Director Manny Cabral. Operations Manager Phil Anist. Assistant to the producer Chris Schachter.
The Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Menon. There's no better way to face the day than with Speed Stick by Menon. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.